Welcome to The Explainer. So, I want you to imagine it's 2026. The boundary between human and machine has officially dissolved, and it's starting right in the world of competitive gaming. Brain-computer interfaces, or BCIs, have leaped out of the research labs and landed straight into our living rooms. But as we start controlling these digital worlds entirely with our minds, a massive, frankly terrifying question comes up. What actually happens when your innermost thoughts become a tradable commodity?
Let's kick things off with a number that is just absolutely wild. An esports pro recently won a major tournament using a Neuralink implant, and they achieved a massive 28% faster reaction time than players using traditional controllers. By totally bypassing the need for physical movement, their brain signals translated into game commands in just 180 milliseconds. Compare that to the 250 milliseconds it takes a normal player to physically press a button. I mean, in competitive gaming, that fraction of a second isn't just a slight advantage, it's literally game over for the competition.
And it's no surprise that this kind of superhuman advantage is fueling an absolute corporate arms race. The global BCI market is on an absolute tear. We're talking a projected leap from $1.74 billion back in 2022 to a staggering $6.2 billion by 2030. The biggest titans in tech and gaming have realized that controlling avatars with our thoughts is going to fundamentally transform entertainment as we know it.
Section 1. The BCI Gaming Revolution.
Right now, we are seeing a fascinating divide in how this ultimate neural controller is being built. On one side of the ring, you have Neuralink's approach, a highly surgical, single-site implant that uses over 1,000 electrodes for incredibly high-resolution data. But then on the other side, you've got Starfish Neuroscience. This is a stealth startup founded by Valve's Gabe Newell. Yeah, the Half-Life guy is literally making brain chips now. Their chip uses just 32 electrodes, but the kicker is that it's 5 times more power efficient and is designed to access multiple brain regions all at once. So it's this crazy trade-off between localized ultra-high resolution versus broad, distributed access.
But hey, you don't actually need to get brain surgery to get in on the action. Consumer-grade, totally non-invasive headsets are already hitting the market. Companies like OpenBCI with their Galea VR platform or HyperX with their CES 2026 headset are literally embedding EEG sensors right into the ear cushions and the head straps. These devices can track your focus in real time, provide cognitive priming, and they can even detect your emotional tilt, basically warning you before anger or frustration ruins your gaming performance.
Section 2. Neural Data, the Black Gold of the 21st Century.
So here's where things get a little spooky. The incredible convenience of these headsets comes with a terrifying realization. They bypass your conscious filters completely. Think about it. You can lie on a survey, but your brain signals absolutely do not lie. Machine learning algorithms can now extract your attention levels with 90% accuracy. They can read your emotional states at 85%. And incredibly, they can even infer your political and religious beliefs with 70% accuracy, all just based on how your brain naturally reacts to targeted stimuli on a screen.
Because this neural data is the ultimate unfiltered truth serum, cybersecurity researchers are watching it sell for staggering prices on the dark web. You can forget about your browsing history being valuable. Raw EEG data is going for hundreds of dollars an hour. A complete emotional profile? That'll fetch up to $5,000. Pro gamer data is hitting between $10,000 and $50,000. And if you're an executive or a VIP, your neural profile is commanding prices well over $100,000. It's just mind-boggling.
Section 3. Hacking the human brain.
To understand the risk here, think about the journey your brain activity takes. It goes through a really complex pipeline. First, analog signal acquisition, then amplification and filtering, digital signal processing, machine learning classification, and finally, wireless transmission to your gaming console. The deeply concerning truth? Every single one of these stages introduces a critical vulnerability. It is a multi-step backdoor for hackers to intercept or even manipulate your thoughts.
A prime example of this is a devastating cyber threat known as brain tapping. Imagine you're competing in a huge tournament. Because your brain actually shows preparatory activity before your body moves, an attacker sitting right there in the audience could intercept your unencrypted Bluetooth signals. By decoding those EEG patterns, they can literally predict your next in-game move 300 to 500 milliseconds before you actually do it and relay that directly to your opponent. It is quite literally mind theft.
Now, you might be wondering, why is it so easy for them to do this? Well, it comes down to a fundamental trade-off. To keep those in-game reaction times lightning fast, gaming companies prioritize low latency over strong encryption. And because of that, consumer BCI headsets are left wide open to a whole terrifying array of classic Bluetooth vulnerabilities. Things like blue bugging, blue snarfing, the KNOB attack, and man-in-the-middle attacks.
Actually, scratch that.
Interception is really only half the threat. Advanced BCIs are bidirectional. They don't just read your data. They can stimulate the brain through magnetic or electrical pulses. If a hacker reverse engineers that feedback loop, they can launch a misleading stimuli attack. We are talking about hackers literally manipulating your mind, artificially inducing fear in the middle of a horror game, disrupting your motor control, or just generally hijacking your physical sensations.
Section 4. Real-world mind theft.
We are already seeing the groundwork being laid for some truly devastating real-world scenarios. Just think about neural ransomware, where a hacker threatens to expose your deeply private biases or thoughts to your boss unless you pay up. Or what about neuromarketing? Imagine a game company reading your dopamine levels so they can offer you a $10 loot box at the exact millisecond you are most psychologically vulnerable. We're even seeing the potential for neural performance doping and corporate spies literally extracting unreleased game mechanics straight from the minds of rival developers.
Section 5. Protecting your mental privacy.
With the stakes this unbelievably high, who is actually protecting your mind? Well, the legal landscape right now is basically a dangerous regulatory vacuum. Chile actually made history back in 2021 by enshrining mental privacy as a constitutional human right, and Colorado introduced a sensitive data bill in 2024. But in much of the world, including the US, consumer gaming headsets completely escape FDA medical oversight. Why? Because they're classified as entertainment devices.
So until the global neural rights movement actually succeeds in 2030 and beyond, you have to protect yourself. If you're going to use this tech, make sure you're using a VPN for all your BCI connections. Always disable Bluetooth when the headset isn't in active use. Limit third-party app access to your neural data, and most importantly, we all need to start demanding proper hardware encryption from the massive companies making these devices.
To wrap up this explainer, I really want to leave you with this ultimate question to ponder. BCI technology is undeniably breathtaking. It's going to create gaming experiences we can barely even comprehend right now. But as this awe-inspiring tech races forward, are we truly prepared to surrender our innermost thoughts, our emotions, and our intentions directly to the internet? Your mind is the very last frontier of privacy, and once that door is open, there is no going back. Thanks so much for joining me today, and remember, stay curious, but definitely stay secure.